Thank you so much for having me. It's a real honour to be here. Just to clarify, it's AuctionsPlus, not Angus Plus. Even though some Fridays in our eastern states where I went to sale, it should probably be called Angus Plus. There are a lot of, I guess, Angus genetics sitting in the stock that end up in our Friday sales. As we sort out tech, thank you so much for having me. As Brad said, I'm Angus Street. I'm the CEO of AuctionsPlus. I've been with the organisation just on 8 months, and I come from a property in northern New South Wales. As I said earlier, it's an absolute honour to be here. I'm a bit rusty, a bit nervous, so apologies, and hopefully I can guide you through my presentation for the next 20 minutes. As you all know, AuctionsPlus wasn't formally called AuctionsPlus. It actually was founded in 1986 and was originally called Delcom, New England Livestock Marketing. It was rebranded CALM, Computer-Aided Livestock Marketing, and it ran its first sale in 1987. So, taking us back to 1987, you have founders who are thinking about trading livestock electronically. To me, they were absolute visionaries. This is pre-internet, pre-World Wide Web, pre-Internet of Things, pre-blockchain. You have founders thinking that they can trade livestock electronically. So in the first sale, they ran 2 kilometres of phone wire. They had a generator running the fax machine, and the first sale was run in 1987. Crazy to think where we are now. And as I said earlier, we are a 32-year-old overnight success. And we are now one of the largest selling channels of livestock in Australia. And so to everybody here and to the team, you guys contributed to that. You guys have driven the success of AuctionsPlus to date. You can go back to the old one. I think I've blown the system up. I do. So I don't have any jokes. And you guys probably don't have any questions because I haven't told you anything yet. You've got one, John? Good.
Any progress in using AuctionsPlus for slaughter cattle?
Good question. So the question was, is there any progress in using AuctionsPlus for slaughter cattle? The honest answer is, which we believe in honesty at AuctionsPlus, we clap honesty, is that we think about it every day, but we haven't got the solution. I think the opportunity to provide a prime stock solution that drives competition nationally, that creates a market floor, that is better for biosecurity and animal welfare, is possible, but I haven't got the answer. And if I'm honest with you and the rest of the audience, I think the opportunity is right around the corner. So we're looking at it very closely and digging deep into our archives, as well as talking to a lot of people to come up with a solution. So that's where we're at. So, now I've just got to work out how to click. We're on. Phew. Thank you. Let me just set this up. Done. So, as I said, we're a 32-year-old overnight success. The question is, how have we remained so relevant over those 32 years? I put it down to one simple rule, and I believe that's been AuctionsPlus' ability to adapt to change. Now, we all adapt to change or react to change differently. Some of us are ostriches and we put our head in the sand and hope that it goes away. Some of us are runners and we run from it and hope that it doesn't catch up with us. Some of us are fighters and we run fear campaigns and we use the digital tools or the digital boxing gloves of today, being Twitter and Facebook, to do our fighting for us. Think the activists. Some of us are hamsters, and no doubt, just like my old man, there's a few hamsters in the crowd today. These are the people that are on the wheel of life, running 1,000,000 miles an hour and can't find the time to hop off, have a look around and suck in what's going on. And then there are those that are excited about change. The adventurers is what I call them. These are the people who are standing on the edge of a cliff, excited about taking the plunge into the unknown, curious about how they'll land, unsure how they'll get down there, whether it be parachute, bungee jump, but all in all, ready to jump off the cliff. Now, my personal opinion is that the livestock sector quite often sits in these four categories. And I believe that for the livestock sector, for businesses, for individuals, for breed societies, for the red meat industry, we need to be the adventurer. Because if we don't evolve, we'll die. It's that simple. Charles Darwin said it himself. And the quote, which I can't remember, is, it's not the strongest species survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one that is the most responsive to change. So I'd love to put, I guess, that theory to the test and test your ability to cope with change. One of the most controversial brands of all time is the United Colours of Benetton. This campaign features a range of world leaders kissing one another. You have Barack Obama, Xi Jinping, Merkel, Sarkozy. According to the United Colours of Benetton, the theme focuses on the kiss, as it's the universal symbol of love. Keep in mind, this wasn't the first time that they've launched such a controversial campaign. Their previous one showed a priest and a nun kissing, and in very suggesting circumstances. So these guys, as a brand, are consistently disruptive. The ads were met with much backlash, and people took it off on their own bat to start tearing them down. Interestingly, the United Colours of Benetton didn't apologise and didn't take the ads down. And they went on to win the prestigious Advertising and Branding Award at the Cannes Film Festival. Exciting new marketing tools are coming. The demand for change, the demand to change our perception of reality through technology is expected to create a $692 billion industry by the year 2025. There's already 24 million headsets That's immersive technology headsets, but be prepared for that number to jump 20-fold. They're expecting 500 million by year 2025. So yes, at first I admit that immersive technology was a bit of a gimmick, but I can actually see the value in it and quickly realised it. And to be honest, we're working with some partners to run an immersive technology stud sale, whereby you'll be able to step into an augmented and virtual world and purchase a stud bull or a stud ram. So that's right, VR and AR are here, and it's driving commerce. Now Netflix, the world's biggest streaming company, who you would assume its major competitors are Stan and Foxtel. You thought wrong. It's actually Fortnite. Who's heard of Fortnite? So for those that haven't, it's a gaming platform with 250 million users. Netflix has 149 million users. So Netflix and other media companies are seeing the future of consumption being the convergence of content, gaming, and interaction services. And in fact, I'd take it one step further and say that every company, every brand in the future will need to think and act like an entertainment company. So how do you react? Are you the ostrich? Are you scared? Are you still on the treadmill? Hopefully not, because you're here at the conference. Or you're the adventurer and excited and pumped, unsure how it's going to affect you, but want to learn more. But why does your reaction matter? It matters because brands outlive products. It's that simple. Now I need to put a footnote in here. Brand is not your logo, not your advertisement. Brand is the DNA of your business. It embodies what you stand for, where you fit in this world, and why you get out of bed in the morning. It is the soul that embodies your organisation. Keep in mind, brand could be personal brand, business brand, industry brand, breed brand. It is not a logo and advertisement. It is the DNA of what you are trying to embody. A great example is Kentucky Fried Chicken. In spring 2018, the unthinkable happened. KFC ran out of chicken, and the Colonel ended up temporarily closing 900 UK restaurants. What's the biggest learning here? Regardless of how powerful a brand is, people buy from people. KFC made a personal apology, as you can see here, with a little bit of humour, put its hand up and owned the situation. There was no formal media release, and interestingly, there was no impact on sales. Now, there are many brands trying to sell soap in the world, but few brands have tried to change societal norms about beauty. The brand Dove attempted to do both with their first ever campaign for real beauty. The brand was described as being groundbreaking, brave, bold, insightful, transparent, and authentic. It's one of the most historic campaigns of our century. It's taught in business schools around the world and referred to in every advertising medium annually. A recent survey found that more than half of the women that were surveyed now believe that the brand has played a significant role in redefining beauty for the world. Through the course of the campaign, it also increased sales from 2.5 billion to 4 billion. So brand not only has a mechanical cultural value, but also very much a financial value if you get it right. AuctionsPlus. Our brand is so fortunate to be in the position that it is, and I said that earlier on. So what motivates and drives us every minute of every day, and why do we as a team get out of bed every morning? It's pretty simple. At the core of it, it's having a positive contribution on the community of our users in every interaction that we have with them. So whether that be our buyers, our sellers, our stud clients, our stakeholders, our agribusiness professionals, people in the supply chain, industry, and most importantly, our team. Because every day our team looks to add value to your businesses. And they do it by continually evolving our platform to allow the agricultural sector not only to trade, but to share and collaborate. And that's the future evolution of AuctionsPlus. That's where we are today. What's driven the evolution of the brand? To me, it's simple. 3 things. Purpose, people, transparency. Purpose. At AuctionsPlus, every decision we make, we start with the why. Now, there's a fantastic cultural anthropologist called Simon Sinek who wrote a book that explains the difference between great and good businesses, brands, leaders, managers. And it was as simple as every time you go to make a decision, start with why, not what. Because people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People, our team, our customers, suppliers and stakeholders are at the heart of everything that we do. Simple, because people cannot be motivated by others. They are only motivated from within. It's the same with everybody in this room. But as leaders, we can set up an environment in which people are able to motivate themselves and thus motivate change. And finally, transparency. Transparency is going to dictate the customer-brand relationships for the next decade. Genuine brands, authentic brands, brands that talk honestly, take ownership, walk the walk and just don't talk the talk are going to be the brands that outlast the century. So there's 3 underlying pillars of the evolution of AuctionsPlus brand, but there is one more. And this is the most critical point or factor that has driven the evolution of the brand from its very, very humble beginnings. And that's trust. And you may have heard my predecessor, Anna Spear, talk about trust and it being an underlying factor of AuctionsPlus. Today, even more so. Not just on the transaction, but on the interaction, on the customer journey, the customer relationship. Because collectively, we are now in a position where we can impact one another. The spotlight is on the livestock sector. Interestingly, I had the former CEO of Facebook Australia knock on our front door, and I was very, very surprised. He'd been referred to, AuctionsPlus had been referred to him by somebody, and he wanted to, or is, researching how AuctionsPlus has such a high level of trust in the industry and within the market. So when those results come out, hopefully I'm here next year and I can give you an update. So there's a great trust theorist called Diego Gamberta, and he believes that trust has 2 enemies: bad character and information. And you could say that technology like AuctionsPlus is not going to make bad people good. But what it can do is make them accountable. You can see that in ratings, in reviews that are happening across all of the other websites and that are rolling out within AuctionsPlus. But it's the information of where the power is really at. And we at AuctionsPlus see this as an underlying component of the brand. It underpins trust. Because so often we click, we accept, we share, we make a decision based on the information that we have at that point in time. Do I trust the information? So our goal, through information, is to create a relationship you get with a handshake in the online world. Pretty simple. That drives and underpins all of our actions, all of our improvements. So I'd love to offer it and see what it's, give you guys a go to see what it feels like. How's that sound? A bit of a group activity? Yes! I'd love everybody to take out their mobile phone, please. Open it up. John, don't spoil this, you've seen this. Open it up. Put it up in the air, please. Beautiful. Sir in the red cap, I'm sure you've got a Nokia or something. Been texting too much. Can you pass it to the person on your right or somebody next to you? Swap phones. Now, you have 30 seconds to do what you like with that person's phone. Send a text, jump into their messages, their Facebook. Okay, hand it back, hand it back. That's the... So it's funny, every time we do that, there is always a nervous giggle. And everyone's like, ha ha ha, it's funny. No. You are now responsible for somebody else's property. You've just been handed over trust instantaneously. That happens, you don't know the person next to you potentially. That happens every day in our online environment. And that nervous laughter is what we're trying to calm out with our technology and ensure that every time you hand over a phone or you click, you share, you collaborate, you have absolute confidence in the system. You therefore have trust in it. So why should the beef industry care? Why? Because as I said, we share responsibility. Everybody in this room is responsible for driving trust, integrity, transparency, living the brand of the Angus breed, of the cattle species, and of the red meat sector. So I ask you, are we a team of champions or a champion team? Because the global economy is becoming made up of some major digital superpowers. The ecosystems of Alibaba, Google, Amazon, Baidu, Facebook, Microsoft and Tencent. So yes, they're collaborating. And these businesses are creating real value for users. They are building a team. But as we saw with Facebook, unfortunately, Mark built a team of individuals. And the recent data sharing issues has dropped the consumer trust in Facebook by 66%. Now, Alibaba, on the other hand, Alibaba hit the headlines as the world's biggest IPO in September 2014. Founder Jack Ma is a household name. But what a lot of people don't understand is it really didn't kick into gear until 2007. They had a management retreat in a far-out, dingy, divey province of China, and a lot of the managers came together and realised that they were more than just an e-commerce platform. And so they therefore changed the vision. They wanted to foster the development of an open, coordinated, prosperous, and trusted ecosystem. And that's when Alibaba's journey really kicked into gear, as I said. Alibaba now is by far the leader of all of the world's ecosystems. Jack Ma said famously, if you want to win in the 21st century, you have to empower and connect with others. Make sure other people are better than you. Then you will become successful. Jack Ma is building a champion team. So the three take-homes. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. If you want to change your personal brand, your business brand, the breed's brand, the industry's brand, fundamental changes need to be made, not superficial. Want to be incrementally better? Then compete, by all means. That might be at a business level, individual level, species level. But want to be exponentially better? Be collaborative. Build a champion team. But don't forget, number one, don't deal with the pigs in lipstick. And finally, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya is an author, a civil rights activist, and one of America's unsung heroes, and I think she sums it up best. Never forget that people react to how you make them feel. Thank you very much. I'm Angus Street, CEO of AuctionsPlus.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes up our sleeves, so if there's any questions from the floor, from our roving microphones, just put your hand up and they'll bring one to you. Thanks, Sam. We might have you up first.
Angus, thank you very much. We had the opportunity to meet Angus a few weeks ago on farm, and I am impressed with Angus, and we had an opportunity to meet with the former CEO, and this company is evolving because of the people around it and the people around you. You mentioned, and you talk about the integrity of your system, and we spoke, and I'd like everybody to hear the issues that you've had to deal with respect to getting the integrity of your agents and the people supplying cattle, because they're two sides of every transaction. So to Brad, he sells me something and I look at it and I buy it and I've only got a screen and I've got to trust the assessors in there, and when it doesn't come, there's a breakdown. And you've worked through this and it's a great story. So if you could talk about that briefly, it'd be great.
Definitely, thank you, Sam. And Sam's correct that the integrity of system, the integrity leads to trust. And trust in the system. If our trust breaks down, our brand breaks down, our business breaks down. So integrity, just like people, well, integrity is at our core, but to execute on the integrity, we need the people around us. So some of the things, and it's always an evolution for us. We're never going to get it perfect. But Anna Spear came in 4 or 5 years ago now and really tidied up the integrity of the platform. And put in place a number of measures and systems to, I guess, effectively clean out a lot of the dodginess that was occurring within the system. And I believe we're now at a point where a lot of that dodginess and the scams and the problems that are I guess the bigger problems are far and few between. But however, for us, it doesn't stop there. For us, it is the continual rats and mice that are running around, potentially eroding, or not potentially, eroding the confidence in the system. So Sam might have a little bit of a problem with one of our assessors, but he kind of says, "Oh, look, it's okay," but then it leaves a little bit of bad taste in his mouth. That same assessor does it to somebody else, and after a while, the accumulation effect of that bad taste just erodes the confidence in the platform. And to me, bad taste in one of our customers' mouths, whether it be buyer or seller, is not good enough. It's absolutely not good enough. And so a couple of initiatives that we've launched this year is we now do random assessor audits. So we select 20 assessors monthly and audit them, which is a very interesting process. Part of it is feedback and part of it is looking at the consistency of those assessments. So that's a new initiative that we've launched into. We also are looking at setting up a code of conduct. We have our operating conditions, but a public-facing code of conduct that allows all users to provide complaints, concerns, not just full-blown misdescriptions. So where we can start to track and capture these continual rats and mice that are occurring and eroding the platform. So a code of conduct will be out at the end of the year. In addition to that, we are revamping our buyer ratings. So at the moment, all sellers or all selling assessors are rated. So there's a buyer ratings email that gets sent out. That is being revamped over the next 6 months and we rolled out at the beginning of next year. Those assessor ratings are also going to roll into reciprocal ratings. And so the seller is able to rate the buyer. Because as Sam said, quite often there's nothing at fault with the seller, but there might be a Pitt Street farmer or a Queen Street farmer from a buying perspective and isn't aware of their buying responsibilities. We are monitoring both sides very closely, and the next 18 months for us is really about taking any bad taste experiences, those little bad taste experiences, off the table. Hope that answers the question, Sam.
Do we have another question?
Yeah, go, Jeff.
Thanks for a great presentation, Gus. James Nason from Beef Central. Gus, just interested if, with the number of cattle being sold through AuctionsPlus now, if you guys are working on developing an online indicator for cattle sold online through AuctionsPlus, in addition to EYCI?
It's a good question, and we've been approached by external organisations. We've also had discussions with MLA. It's something that we've discussed but haven't made a decision on. And the reason we haven't made a decision on it is because what is the right indicator? Is it weaner steers? Is it PTICs? What are the variables that are going to create the indicator? If you look at where our volume comes from, obviously light steers and heifers and PTICs, I think we definitely have the data available to be able to do an indicator for those. But while we haven't made a decision on what that indicator looks like, we are starting to recognise the value of the data that is being captured within AuctionsPlus. And we've actually just established a insights and marketing team within AuctionsPlus, and that insights and marketing team is tasked now with diving into our 12 years worth of data, of individual livestock data, to start to look at trends and analysis and start to feed that back to the likes of you guys and the industry to drive those trends. We're also working with MLA. Obviously, MLA have very broad depth of data, but we have a very deep depth of data. So how can we share sources? So no indicators, but plenty of market intelligence to come out over the next 12 months.
No further questions? We might wrap it up there. Well, Angus, congratulations. That was a very difficult start. We got rid of the rats and mice from under the table here, and the job came good. So well done.
Thanks, mate.